welcome in. It is Monday motivation night. Funny, I play my intro all the time, and I just now noticed that I did something in that intro that I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that way. I thought I goofed it up. But anyways, it's funny how you see things repetitively over and over, and then all of a sudden it's like, I never saw that there before. Anyway, welcome in, guys. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I'm your host of tonight's Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivations. I do other things on the great old YouTube, so make sure you are subscribed to my channel. You ring the bell for all notifications and a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. You can do that thumbs up on your way in, on your way out. I don't care, as long as you get it done. So, let's see. Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry, guys. I helped Tammy Dream Chaser over on her channel earlier tonight. And then my head has been busting all day, and I've taken ibuprofen. And it's not a migraine, so thank the Lord for that. But it's like I have what do they call that? A vice grip, whatever, and it's just right in there. It's just beating. It just feels like someone's just sitting there pushing on it. So anyways, well, let's see who all's here. More people will come in as they get the notification. And then there's other great things going on the YouTube as well. So, there might be people bouncing around. So welcome in. I'll get my thoughts here in a minute. Josie, welcome in. She was the first one in the chat. I'm going to start giving y'all prizes for being the first. Who's the first one into Monday Motivation? Who's the most excited? All that. Who participates the most? All those kind of things. I need to work on that along with, hundreds of other things. So just add more to your plate, Scooter. Why don't you see? My thoughts aren't even, they're not even coming out right. Then we got Cool Ranch, who thought she was in first, but she's here. That's all that matters, right? Let's climb the mountain. Yeah. Every time I say mountain, I always think of Alabama song. So welcome in, Cool, my sister. We got Joanne here. Hey, Joanne, welcome in. Good to see you. She says she's ready to climb. She just has to make a pit stop first. Don't you know it? That's usually when that happens. We got Steph here. Hey, Steph, welcome in. I hope you're doing good. I was watching Steph and Mr. Stephanie earlier, and then Tammy was telling me that her two people that go on with her on Monday night, one had another obligation, and the other one had hurt her shoulder. And so I was like, well, I'll come in there. I know what it's like to be on the air by yourself, like I do every Monday, and having to make sure that chat's flowing, that you're watching chat, and it's a lot to keep up with if you're not used to doing it. So I already said hello to Josie. Y'all, there's 3 dots. If you have a blue branch, that means I have your information. And that means if you have a blue branch, you can click on the 3 dots out to the side of the person's name and go and subscribe. Support all these people. Several of you are resellers. So we got Josie, we got Steph, we got Dream Chaser Tammy, which I was going to say, hello, welcome in. She's in bed and watching and listening. Wish I was in bed about right now. We got Shelby here. Love it. Ain't no mountain high enough, right? Yeah. That was my song I love for my girls. Cool says, want to let you know that Wendy will be listening. She asked for y'all to go to her YouTube channel and see her update on her post. I saw that she's taking a break for a little bit. I just pray that woman gets to feeling better. Wendy, I know you just seem like it's just when you get back up, something else happens. But girl, you are strong and you just keep coming back up. So make sure y'all are going over to Wonder Woman YouTube channel. Cool, or somebody, if y'all can drop her link in there, that'd be fine. Feel free to drop your own links, guys. But yeah, go and support Wonder Woman. She is a super fabulous woman. She just has had a lot on her plate for the past 2 years, I think, year or two. All right. So we'll say hello. It's more people. Oh, there's Black Widow. Welcome in, Black Widow. I was over hanging out with Black Widow and Jennifer from the Dark Side channel and Viv and Patty Paws and Patsy Crafty and of course my feather sister Selena and the sweetest, best, wonderful moderator Joanne last night. And I hung in until we started at 6. I hung in until about 10:30 and I tapped out. I was like, yep, I got to go to bed. But then it took me it was around 1 before I could ever go back to sleep. So in fact, every night I take 2 over-the-counter sleeping pills to help me stay asleep. I take an Ambien to help get me to sleep. And then I took some headache medicine as well last night. And I want to say I did that at 10:47. Like as soon as I got off here, I went straight in the bathroom, took my pills and stuff. Because it takes about 45 minutes to an hour for it to finally start kicking in. Around 1 o'clock, I was like, this is ridiculous. So I took a half of another Ambien pill and an Advil PM so I could finally go to sleep. And finally, I eventually fell asleep. But then I had to get up at 7, so not much sleep. Yes, it was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again, Black Widow. That was a lot of fun. All right. So I hope you all had a great weekend. Robert and I, we went sourcing Saturday at a town about 45 minutes away from here. And he had actually went to go get us breakfast. And I want to say it was around 9 o'clock. And he's like, hey, you want to go and go up to our favorite place? And I was like, sure, that sounds fun. We haven't been in a while like that. So we got in the car, did a road trip, did some sourcing, and hey, we had lunch at our favorite pizza place and went to one more place and then finally came home and then we both took us a good little nap. So but that was Saturday, and then Sunday I was getting stuff ready for last night's auction. So yeah, it was a busy weekend, but yet relaxing. I don't know how there is such a thing, but it was. But like I said, I went till about 10:30, and then I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. But it was fun, and it was lots of good times, lots of laughter, and everything. So last week we added. Make sure I'm not missing. Nancy Smith, welcome in. So good to see you. Surprised you woke in time this morning. All right. There we go. Shelby got it. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you. A lot of times now on YouTube links, at least I know for mine because I set my YouTube handle. So a lot of times you can just do that www.youtube.com/ and then mine says Scooterrenee LLC. That's all you ever got to type in for me. So, hey, Selena, there's my feather sister. Welcome in. So last week we added our skills cable. And so tonight we're going to be discussing another cable, one more cable. Guys, I think we got 2 more weeks of this climb and then we're done. But it's an important cable to discuss tonight. And this is our habits cable. So our next cable in our climb to our very own, very top of Hero Mountain. So stick around. More to come. Positive spot thought, guys. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. Your habits will determine your future. First, forget inspiration. Habit is more dependable. Habit will sustain you whether you're inspired or not. How true is that? Like, I'm always going to get up in the morning, except on Fridays, go in the bathroom, do my makeup, brush my hair a little, let Bella out, feed Bella, get my breakfast going, and then watch a little TV while I'm eating breakfast, and then go back into the bathroom, finish doing my hair, pick out what I'm going to wear, get dressed, and then head out the door. all that's just on auto, right? So even though I'm not inspired to do that, I still do it every day because it's a habit. It's a habit for me to do every morning. So um, training, training for no matter what it is can be so hard for anything that you're training for. Training for mountain climbing is no different. It's always important to start with a plan, however. So I don't know about you guys, but there has been a lot of great intentions on my part to start something, but many factors can get in our way when we are trying to start something, no matter how good our intentions are. Things like family demands, your job, the lack of motivation. We procrastinate, right? So if we create a plan, however, with the end in mind, this can help one to put in a reasonable training program or breaking down the steps to on a project when we put this in place. Habits just make it hard for me to remember what day it is. That is when I'm not having to go to work, and or if I have a holiday, like I was off for President's Day, and somehow Robert got screwed up. He's like, "Well, today's Thursday," or no, he said it's Tuesday. I was like, "No, today's Wednesday." We were like 2 days ahead. But anyways, so you got to put some steps in place. You got to create a plan of how you're going to arrive to the destination that you're wanting to arrive to. So when I would train, for example, for my half marathons, I had my schedule for weeks and months with how much I needed to walk in miles or how many minutes each day. Some days I would just walk 30 minutes. Some days I would, I made it a point to walk 2 miles. My Saturdays were always my long days of mileage, so it would be anywhere from 5 miles to the whole, 12 miles, leaving that 1.1 mile left for race day, but I had it broken out. I knew that my end goal, because that's what I thought about, my end goal was to cross that finish line and get my medal. But I had to start with a plan, and one that would set me up for success to walk all the 13.1 miles. And it was broken up in chunks. I'll say it every time. You can't eat a whole elephant. You got to do it one bite at a time. So that's what I would do. I break down however long I needed to train, and I broke down my days of how much walking I need to do to get to that success. Because you can't do it all in one day without training. I mean, there are some people, I'm sure they can, but not this girl. This girl cannot. So I can visualize my climb at my own hero mountain when I break it down as we are going along each week. And climbers complete their ascents in stages as well. For them, it depends on the length of their ropes. So no matter if it's climbing or a professional or a personal goal for yourself, we can achieve these by moving forward a step at a time to realize short-term goals. Boy, I felt good that I was able to walk 3 miles. Woohoo, let's eat a cookie. I earned that cookie. So, however, each of us, we all will have different levels, different speeds, and different abilities from each other. I would do these walks with women's group here. Women Can Run is what it was called. I don't know if it still exists to this day. But I always hated it because I walk slower than a lot of people. I have to hang on to Robert's hand in order to keep up with him when we're going places. And so I was always in that lagging group, whether it's by myself or whether it has, 1 or 2 ladies. But I would always make it my goal to get to the next person, speed it up a little bit more. That was my goal. Start out slow, and then, all right, put my eyes on the next person I want to pass. And that's what I would do in my half marathons as well, because, yeah, they might pass me again, but hey, at least I got past them that one time, right? Goals. We're talking about goals here. So when we look at the principal gain from the climbing ropes that we have been discussing, the cables all these past week, we'll see that it's directly applicable to any lifetime or professional goals. So one rope at a time is how we do this. One bite at a time. And if you do that, it is possible to achieve success. Hey, Jamie B, reseller, welcome in. So good to see you. Hey, Jen. There's Jen. She was the one I was telling you about, Dark Side Channel, that was on with us last night. So welcome in, guys. So if we put off the step, of doing one rope at a time or 1 foot at a time or whatever that goal is for you, if we put that step, if we put that off, then it only delays the satisfaction and the excitement of moving towards the top of our summit of our own, each individual hero mountain. So when we look at the professional, did I see your quote? Sorry. I did not. Did I? You can put it back in there, Shelby, because I'm not seeing it. All right. So when we look at the professional athletes, for example, they all have one thing in common. They visualize the end goal, winning the competition. So let's look at Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer. He has won 28 medals. 23 were gold medals, 3 were silver, and 2 were bronze. Josie says you have to set goals and do them, not just talk about them, right? Think positive that you can do them. Exactly. Talk is cheap. Yes, Steph, it sure is. The old saying, you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk, right? So Michael Phelps, he was interviewed on CNBC, and he said he related 5 powerhouse habits to his goals and what he does and his habits. His first habit is to write down goals. And he keeps these on his nightstand with long-term and short-term goals. So you want to keep yours where you're going to see them each day. So whether it's on your bathroom mirror as you get ready in the morning, if it's on the kitchen cabinet or your refrigerator as you're going for a drink, or in your car as you're getting ready to leave for work or wherever it is that you're going, put them where you're going to see them every day, preferably on your nightstand, because that's the first thing you see as you go slap that alarm clock off, usually. But he said, he wants to put his goals and dreams on paper. And the reason why, and this made a lot of sense, is that there's usually an extra step of commitment and obligation in fulfilling those goals. There are a lot of things I tell you guys at times to kind of put it out there and hold myself accountable, right? So if I share it, if I say it, that means I got some showing to do, right? I got to walk that walk. So let me back up real quick. So Shelby put in, thank you for doing that again, Shelby. I hate to do that. She said, habit is a cable we weave thread of it each day, and at last we cannot break it. Horseman. Now, I love the name Horseman just because I went to junior high here called Horseman. Not this, I don't know if it was named after him or not, to be honest. There's Wonder Woman. Accept the things you cannot change and change the things you can, right? Yes. Welcome in. Thank you, Tammy. She said, I appreciate you so much. And of course, y'all know what that means. Just really quick. Y'all don't mind, do you? I haven't got to play this in a while. What does that say? Thank you, Tammy. For those of you that are new, you never watched me before, I love sloths. You can see a few of them right there. They're all over behind me, back there, over there, in my bedroom, in our living room. Yeah, they're everywhere. So that's why I do the sloth thank you thing. So thank you, guys. Hold on just a second. Oh, okay. I just had to check that real quick. All right. So that's the first habit that he has. And I so believe that when you write them down, it's a commitment and obligation that you see it, and you see it every day. All right. Jennifer Hayes, welcome in. She said, who forgot the thumbs? If you forgot the thumb, don't forget to hit it, right? All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So the second habit that he has is never to use the word can't. When you take that word can't and you take it out of your vocabulary, it eliminates a defeatist attitude, which, if you don't know, is the opposite of a winning attitude. Just like we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the dynamic rope, y'all remember that one, the dynamic and the static rope? Having a dynamic mindset requires one to be prepared to adjust and move and change with the I can mindset. Phelps said that his third habit is the willingness to give up a lot. I mean, think about it. He's a swimmer. He goes to the Olympics. You don't get there by just snapping your finger. You got to train for it. You got to work for it. You got to believe in it and breathe it and eat it and sleep it and everything. The dude swims 7 days a week, staying in optimal shape, and doing that doesn't leave a whole lot of time for much of anything else, right? Family, all that, everything, work, if he does work. I don't even know if he works, but anyway, but family time, me time, whatever it may be. So, but the other interesting thing is he gets a ton of rest. He sleeps a lot as well. So I guess when he's not training, he's sleeping. But your emotional as well as physical refreshment, he said, helps him and you as well perform at an optimal level. Right? I love that. You're going to try. At least try. Because then you say you did. So the fourth habit that he has is that he uses other people's trash talk as fuel. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I love me some trash talk from other people to me. So that also, however, also applies. So I guess I like my own. It also applies to our own self-induced head trash talk. So, but it pushes us to face others who may ridicule our personal habits or even our goals that we have set for us. And this can motivate us to push and compete harder. I don't know about you, but if someone questions me or says, you can't do that, and maybe they're not saying I can't do it, but are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you want to do that? Or whatever. That just makes me so determined to prove them wrong and prove to them that I can. I did. Hey, Harry, welcome. No worries, Selena. That's right. So his fifth habit that he has is, and I thought this was so pretty darn right. Tammy and I, we work with one of our other vendors. Her name is Karen, and sometimes y'all see her come in here. But Karen, she's always saying, I'm staying in Karen lane. I'm staying in my lane. And that is Michael Phelps' fifth habit, is stay in his lane. Sometimes I'll tell myself, Scooter, just stay in your lane. Keep it in your lane. Don't go over there. Stay in yours. If you don't, then every day, every hour and moment, they bring a bunch of different distractions, right? So Phelps says that he can't control what other people do. So for him, he was always worried about himself and worried about what he needed to do. And it worked. Exactly, Wendy. Exactly. If someone tells me I can't, then I'll be darned if I will, and I'll do it better than I thought I could, right? Throw me a challenge. I don't realize how competitive I am until I have to be competitive, no matter what it might be, no matter how small it may be or whatever. Right, Black Widow? I try and stay in my lane. Sometimes people get in my lane, but I try and let it pass. Yes. So that was his 5 habits that he does. So the first one again was that he writes down his goals. The second one is never use the word can't. Third one was willingness to give up a lot, especially when you want something, when you just have a hunger for something. Fourth habit was using other people's trash talk or even your own self-induced trash talk. And the fifth one was staying in your lane. So staying on track with a winning and successful idea, sticking with it and remaining in our lane will bring higher and more successful results. Corinne said, "Oh, I know how competitive you are, little trinket box sale queen. You remember when I think it was it me and Picky Nikki or me and Hemlock? It was one of us. We went against each other for trinket box duo or duel type thing. So, all right. So chat participation time. First one tonight. Chat participation time. I want to know, what powerhouse habits have you created or you're going to create it? Did one of those inspire you to create some? Again, if you don't have one, what is one that you can start? So y'all share. I'm going to get me a drink. Our first chat participation for tonight. I'm always curious to see what y'all come up with, what y'all think. A lot of times y'all think of things I hadn't even thought of. Yeah, we need to do that again, Shelby. We haven't done that one in a while. Every time I do, maybe that's why I don't play Let's Make a Deal so often on my channel, because when I do make, Let's Make a Deal, is that even right? Is that right? Yeah, deal or no deal. That's right. That's what it is. Deal or no deal. Y'all seem to love it that much more whenever I do play that game. So yeah, we'll have to do that. All right, repeat the question. What powerhouse habits, or you can just say what habits, have you created for yourself? And if you don't have one, what's one that you can start? Maybe it's one of Michael Phelps' habits that he does. Do I still have my board up there, Tammy? Tammy said, let's do it Wednesday. Do I still have my board up there? I know I left one somewhere. I mean, it only could be at your place. I have one that I created a long time ago, and then I have my newest one. Okay, that's what I thought. We'll see. We'll see. So maybe it happens Wednesday night, guys. No powerhouse habits? None of y'all have any habits? Look at Josie. I said at least 4 goals to do each day, right? Just something as simple as that. Nancy Smith says, be motivated, one step at a time. Be focused. Yes. Like, I love the whole writing down my goals where I see them type idea, putting on my nightstand, and the staying in my lane, the trash talk. Yes. I love those. All right. While y'all are still thinking, go ahead and feel free to share. I'm going to keep moving along. Breaking out of negative ruts can sometimes be a challenge, right? Negative ruts. We all get in them. I don't care how strong, smart, positive, motivated, we all end up in a rut here or there. It's just not staying there. It's the most important thing. Cool says, I make a list of 10 items to finish each day, but I forgive myself if I don't. Give yourself some grace, right? Yes. So when we get to a halftime point in our lives to break out of the negative ruts and endless pursuits to nowhere, this is a great time to do this by developing some short-term goals. There are certain things in my side business that I have scheduled for me to do throughout the week. I got Monday motivations on Mondays, always on Mondays. You know, I have auction Tuesdays, most time Wednesdays, auctions Thursdays, maybe a weekend thrown in there. But at least Monday through Thursday, that's taken up. I write down my numbers in my calendar book, my planner. Get these invoicing on Fridays without fail, usually. Sometimes it can bleed over into the weekend. It just depends on what's going on that weekend. But more times than not, you can expect your invoicing on Friday. So there are certain things I do, and I do that because it keeps me straight. And it keeps me out of some of those ruts that we can get into. I can create residual income for myself if I need to. I can travel with road flow, and if I needed to, I can sell from the road if I needed to, or if I wanted to. And when I'm working, I'm doing it because I enjoy it. No one's making me on my side business. I mean, I like my day-to-day job, but I love my side business. So if I didn't love it, I wouldn't keep showing up week in, week out, right? Josie says, I think I'm busy. I don't have any free day, right? That's what it feels like sometimes. Joanne says, I get up every morning after I have breakfast. I do a daily devotional. I get dressed. I might not have anywhere to go, but I get up anyway and I'm ready for whatsoever. And that's so important, Joanne, about getting up and getting dressed. Like, I can tell a huge difference in my attitude and motivation as well of getting stuff done when I go ahead and just go on into the bedroom and get out of my PJs. If I don't put on my makeup, at least brush my teeth and brush my hair. And then sometimes, some of those mornings, I just jump in the shower. Go ahead and jump in the shower. I'm not going anywhere, but man, I just feel so much better just doing that, because then it kind of makes me want to do something else. Whereas there's some days I just want to go and sit in my recliner in there in front of the TV and do nothing but veg out the whole day. And that's okay. We need those kind of days too. Just not every day. Right, Tammy? I love it too. So has anyone here ever heard of the book, The War of Art? It was written by Stephen Pressfield. Anybody have ever heard of that? I know I've heard of it. Don't know much about it, but I at least have heard of the title. But he says in his book that procrastination is the most common manifestation of resistance because it's the easiest to rationalize. So very true. Procrastination is the most common manifestation of resistance because it's the easiest to rationalize. Steph says, daily devotional, get out of my PJs, connect with some of my locals are the first things I do in the morning. Yes. Dream Chaser says, my goal the other day was to do a live on TikTok, and I have over, is that 325 views or 3,025 views? Right? I did my first short video this morning. First one in a long, long time. So I'm trying to get back to some of my things I used to do. But again, I want to make these shorts funny and make people want to come back and watch them. Not, be like, oh, there's he is talking again. I'm sure it's what my husband thinks. I don't want everybody else to think that. But anyways, so our climb up Hero Mountain, it includes dreams realized and opportunities fulfilled based on what we talked about last week. The anchors of competency. That's what was discussed last week. But the key thing is we must start. We must take the first step. Passion, skills, and knowledge can work simultaneously to stimulate our plan when it's put in place. And when we develop these habits, we not only define our climb up Hero Mountain, but a blueprint that includes an ideal schedule to get there. You don't want it to drag on and on and on. I don't want to be on a mountainside all day, every day for however many months. No, I got a plan. I want to get there to the top. So, let's see. Tammy says, your shorts are great on the way to work because you give everybody an inspiration to have a wonderful day and something to laugh about. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm bored myself too, though. Wendy says, YouTube lately, I've been making more time with God and things that I do have going for me and understand what things are not going for me. There's always God's plan, right? Yes. You're so funny. Cool. All right. So having a defined schedule and strategy can be valuable because they both act as a self-management and planning tools for you. So if you're not sure how to begin, there are 3 questions that you can ask yourself. How much time do I want to spend working? For what type of organization or business do I want to work for? Maybe it's yourself. And how much do I want to travel for work? Or fill in whatever the goal it is that you have. Fill that in where I talk about work. Fill that in there. Finish that sentence out with that. So Timothy Ferriss, who is an expert, has a book called The 4-Hour Work Week. I definitely have heard of that one. Many of you probably have heard of it as well. And those of us that work, who wouldn't like a 4-hour work week, right? At full salary. And in his book, he defined his plan as a desire for a mobile lifestyle and freedom of time and place in his life. And he achieves success and staying power with this plan. It's important that you don't only want to define the dream, but devise the ideal work schedule that gives you the satisfactory lifestyle and the results. All of us can still get this done while still climbing, using cables of healthy habits to reach the top. So when we Google the word expert, because I just said Timothy Ferriss was an expert, it turns up over 370 million results or more. These so-called experts, they're sprouting up every week. But to truly become an expert, it requires quality training and strong focus habits. So let's look at another Olympian. We talked about Michael Phelps. We're going to look at another one now. On the 4-hour work week is Timothy Ferriss, Ferris. Corinne's like, I want a 4-hour work week. Yes, ma'am. So another Olympian, Scott Hamilton, the figure skater who was the 1984, I was 10 years old at that time, 1984 Olympic gold medalist. He has learned through endless failures. He was terrible at mastering tracing the figure eights on the ice. Supposedly he was terrible at that. And apparently he had an illness when he was younger that stunted his growth. I found that to be interesting. You got it, cool. But he had an illness that stunted his growth, and he persevered through that. So why would he persevere to a gold medal, right? But he was 9 years old when he began his skating career, which actually improved his health. It still took him years before his skill mirrored his drive, however. Hello, Mr. Stephanie. Welcome in. And we can take something like that illness that Scott Hamilton had and realize that the resiliency was already created in life because that's what propelled him towards creating his new habits and skills and getting that gold medal. So just like him, we've already got resiliency in us that already created in life will propel us towards creating new habits and skills. So today I celebrated working with my boss 10 years ago today. And I can tell you where I was 10 years ago is not where I am today. And I've developed new habits and skills that are different from then. And you might be thinking, though, hey, Scooter, look, listen, girl, I just don't have the kind of time at this point in my life to do all those repetitions, figure eights. No. It's too late for me. I'm not a 9-year-old or even a 30-year-old. Too tired to begin something new. I don't want to work that hard. Guess what? It's not too late. It's never too late. We can recognize the many repetitions that we've already tackled throughout our lives, no matter what age you're at. And we have all conquered unique challenges by falling down and getting back up over and over again. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love that. So that resiliency alone that each of us has created can propel us towards creating new habits and new skills. That's what it is. Scott Hamilton, again, we can be so inspired by. He fell down 41,600 times in his career, but guess what? The dude got back up 41,600 times. There's so much for us to do, so let's not quit. Who all knows of cheap ambition? Cheap ambition. You know, it's the lose weight now, become an expert in 4 weeks, earn thousands every month. Anyone? You know, there's a new slogan as well to all these get rich schemes, pitches. Become an expert in 4 easy steps. Thrifty shortcuts fuel a cheap ambition that lacks a solid foundation. The mindset that we have is so important. We must recognize and value our expertise, the individual proficiencies and sense of confidence and worth for a strong foundation on which we can build further accomplishments. Sales is a skill most every person and organization needs to develop, whether as a volunteer or for a profit business. We must be sold. We must be sold on our own capabilities first. So let's throw in another chat participation. Anyone ever been in an MLM? You know, the multi-level organizations where new members are struggling to sell products and develop their downline. Some have been successful, don't get me wrong. I did Pamper Chef. I did the oyster opening on live, you know, where you cut open the oyster, you buy the oyster, and then we see what color of pearl you get. You know, I know Cool Ranch has done Mary Kay, and there are some programs that are better than other programs. Don't get me wrong on that either. I'm not saying they're all bad or whatever, and people can't make money at it. There are some that have done very well at it. I was just curious if there was anybody else that's done these, because I've done it myself. Right, the discounts. You know, the Pamper Chef, I think, has got the most generous, like, startup pack, or they used to. When I started, it was $100 to get started in selling Pamper Chef. And you got like $350 worth of items. And then there was so many carrots, and I'm a carrot person. Dangle me a carrot, and I'm going to go for it. But yes. But see, you still, regardless, you were in sales, right? If you sell on YouTube, you're in sales. Aw, Jamie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. She says, hi, Renee. I just want to let you know, last year I've been watching your inspirational speeches, and I just want to let you know that you have helped me through rough times in my life. Thank you. Are they not cool? I was thinking they would be because you're developing your downline. I remember downline. I was a future director. My goal was to get to be director, and I had to have so many people in my downline. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. So, regardless if you've been in one, haven't been in one, or whatever, we must not compare our experience to our colleagues. We also shouldn't discount our own aptitudes and abilities. And if we hone in the right habits, we can develop our present skills into valuable assets. I mean, just think of all the time we have spent on our careers, volunteering, or raising our families. This has not been time wasted, but has value to it. See, Josie, you and Tammy, I both look at y'all and go, is there anything you haven't done? Josie said, I worked in housekeeping, nurse's aide, licensed nurse, and purchasing supervisor. Like some of the things that Tammy has done, Dream Chaser, I'm just like, is there anything you haven't ever done? I got you. Yeah, there's one that was very well known where you get discounts on different stuff. I can't think of it because my stepdad belonged to it. But anyways, I cannot think of it. I want to say it was a crown, but it's where if you join with this membership, you got discounts. Whether you're traveling or you're buying products. Like regular going out to the grocery store buying. Trips, parks. Then there's Amway. I cannot think of what the other one is. Anyways, it'll come to me. So you have to decide to move your life forward, to learn or develop skills, or build on your life's purpose. At halftime, there are only a few quick fixes. But reinventing and rebuilding a life takes much less time because of our knowledge and of our experience. I know. Why do you think I call you Mama Tammy? I only say that because that gets to her. Teamsters, Wonder One. That sounds like something. Teamsters or something like that. They used to have a place right over here up on Maumelle Boulevard, Tammy. You wouldn't know, but where Robert's first office was with Wire. They were back there. Teamsters, I think is what it's called. Anyways, keep in mind that a successful plan requires a lot of thought, a realistic strategy, and achievable goals. Remember, it is very dangerous to try to get those quick answers because that only creates a cheap ambition mindset. Hasty solutions are built on shifting sand, but good plans have staying power. All right, another chat participation time. We're on it tonight. How have you encountered cheap ambitions in your life, and what was the result? Was it an MLM? Was it some strategy? Hey, if you learn how to do this, you can make this much money. Was it a to do all this training and make quick cash? In other words, that I've been guilty of that. You get suckered in. It just happens, So it's not something to feel bad about. So I don't want that to come across that way. But have any of you ever encountered cheap ambition in your life, and what was the result? Did you believe that spiel of, hey, get rich quick, 4 steps to fast cash type thing? So while y'all think about it, share and chat. You're fine, Tammy. We just discussed cheap ambition, and now I want to talk about necessary ambition. There's a difference. Nancy Smith says, a job interview to a bad job I didn't get. Good thing, right? Yes. No, cool. I like your answers. Come on. Share your answer. So necessary ambition. While you have joined me on this climb of each of our own personal hero mountain, know that while we're climbing it comes with a cost of determination, the cost of consistency, and strong intentional routines. Y'all showing up here every Monday night to talk about our climb up hero mountain. That's consistent. You're intentional about it. You're determined about it. So congratulations. You're already doing it. So we have all, right, Selena? I didn't have time to think about that. I was just working to just put food on the table as a single mom. Yes. Lotto, right? Hey, just spend $2 on each of these tickets. Have a chance at $6 million. Well, yeah, who doesn't want that, or whatever it may be, you know. If I only buy one more ticket, I know I'm going to hit it. I feel it. We have all heard phrases that appeal to our emotions. Things like, get in shape now, set new goals to lose weight, which aren't all bad. But if our basic behaviors and mindsets are not confronted with productive changes, then what comes into play? That's where the yo-yo effect becomes a lifestyle. You know the yo-yo effect, right? Not just a toy that goes up and down on a string. You gain weight, lose the weight, gain the weight, lose the weight. Or get in shape, get lazy, get in shape, get lazy. Back and forth. It never ends. So guess what? We don't have to be in that yo-yo effect that's never ending. If you and I are willing to make slight changes in our belief system, just take out the words resolution, program, diet, or regimen. The principal thing about it is if I develop productive routines, then apply discipline consistency to those routines, then positive change will happen. New regularity transforms into good habits. I have, Selena and Nancy both say they've never bought a lotto ticket. I have bought a lotto ticket, didn't win, knew it wasn't meant for me. Robert has never, that I know of, bought a lotto ticket, but the man has dreams about winning the lottery all the time. I'm like, go buy a daggum ticket. Neither one of us have ever been gamblers, which is probably a good thing. So back to this whole yo-yo thing. I think I said that new regularity transforms into good habits. So when we have good habits, it helps us apply the principle of discipline into our lives. Doing these Monday motivations for you guys is now a habit and has brought much discipline in my life. I don't get these notes done each week, or if I don't get them done, then there's nothing to discuss, right? So I have to be mindful and disciplined that I put in the effort to prepare for each Monday, come up with my topics. I like to plan out. Y'all know I'm a planner, so I like to plan out several weeks of Monday motivation so then I'm not trying to come up with last minute topics. Right? I did have hope and faith in 2 wrong husbands. I guess that was playing the lotto. Yes. And then we hit it big with our men. No, I'm sorry, Steph. I hope you get to feeling better. So, like I said, doing Monday motivations. I got to get the notes done. So, do you see it yet? That growth process is about us. The growth process is about us. It's not about those around us, regardless if you're talking about your spouse, your children, your coworkers, whoever. It's not about them. It's about you. When we're out there busting our booties to make things happen, that successful experience change, others are going to notice, and then they will want to join in the experience. You know, the old saying of just smile, it'll make people wonder what you're up to, right? When people start seeing a change in your life, it has a trickle effect, right? It goes to the next person. Wow, I want what she has. Wow, I want what he had. The new commercial that came out about when Harry met Sally, you know, with the Hellman's mayo. I mean, it sticks in my head. Thanks, Hellman. But anyways, you know, her just losing it over a sandwich. And when they were in the restaurant back in the movie, everybody wanted what she was having. At least the women, right? I'll have what she's having. The growth is about us when others join in and growing and growing. It's awesome, but it starts with us. Yes, you have to want to, right? Listen, change requires commitment of time and effort. But when we put in that time and effort, when we're committed, those actions bring us hope. Doing this, my friends on the other side of the screen, making real positive change, it can reassure us that all this work we're doing, all of this effort, no matter how long it takes, all this effort that we're pouring in, they are not futile or ineffective. This is where I am in my season of life. I've got to make some changes for my side business. If I want more, I got to be willing to put forth the work. I got lazy about all the other ways I could be making more income in my side business. I've got to change that. Not for Robert, not for my kids or my grandkids or my friends or anybody else. I got to do it for me. I have to be kind of selfish and do it for myself, my own growth, my stretching out of my comfort zone, doing things I hadn't done before, or things that work, bring it back. Why did I quit doing it? Right? Oh, that's so sweet. But I have to do this stuff for myself. If you put in consistency and have a strong routine, then you have the keys to success during your pre-halftime, your halftime status, past halftime, for years and beyond. So you see, here's the difference on necessary ambition. It's not cheap, but it is within reach. When we acquire and we build core habits, they become essential. The move, if you decide to move with me, doesn't mean giving up. It simply means paying attention to your schedule, your sleep, your nutrition, your exercise, your personal and professional relationships, and one's spiritual life. You might know some of these people, the ones that they cling to destructive or lazy habits, sabotaging the very changes that they envision. I've been guilty of that myself. I'm sure some of you can also relate to that. But when we create resistance to something, it's like driving a car with one foot on the gas and the other one on the brake. It's like the gas is the thinking about change, while the other foot on the brake is wanting to keep life the same. You ever seen anyone, or maybe you were one of those that had to drive a stick shift back in the day? My stepdad was bound and determined that I was going to learn how to drive stick shift before I could have a car with automatic. He learned quickly. I just needed a car with automatic. Except with the stick shift, we obviously, most of us had an extra pedal, right? But when you start learning how to drive with a stick shift, it was a jerking you back and forth. And that's what this divide approach does with keeping one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. It results in a jerky ride and it burns energy with little progress. Also think of like one foot out the door, one foot in. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to be different. Positive thinking has been overused as the word replacement for ambition and skill. As you all know, that comes in here every Monday, that I am all for positive thinking. But thinking alone cannot accomplish a true, authentic change. Change only comes when we apply the principle of a strong, healthy routine with consistency. Change is our fertilizer of hope. And it is hope that fuels the positivity. It takes both a technical and an adaptive approach to create the habits necessary to reach our goals. So, what is the technical and adaptive approach? This one's kind of going over tonight, so y'all just hang in there with me. When we define and then simplify both the technical and adaptive approaches, we create habits that bring true change. A technical approach is doing versus not doing. It incorporates good systems that include cues and rewards. The Power of Habit book, I think we talked about that last week, Charles Duhigg, I probably butchered that last name, Duhigg, wrote that a cue is a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode when which habit to use. Think of a performer's cue. That's something a prompter says and he says that because it sends a signal of the onset of speaking or action. And the reward is that the actor is recalling the line or the habit correctly. Our brain has figured out the routine when we respond to cues, and it knows it is something worth remembering and following for future reward. Now let's look at an adaptive approach. Adaptive approach includes a shift in belief system about ourselves. It's not a program that we follow, but it's a deep-rooted desire. These are all emotional decisions that take positive action to fulfill, like a new wardrobe that not only fits you now, but it also fits you in 6 months from now or longer. Having and living a healthy life to live long enough to enjoy grandchildren or great-grandchildren. I'm sure many of you brush your teeth, or I hope that you brush your teeth. And in the early 1900s, well, that's none of my business. But let me take that back. The early 1900s, toothpaste was not widely used back in the early 1900s. Claude Hopkins, who was a marketing guru and was prominent, identified that the filmy layers that you feel on your teeth when you haven't brushed them is mucin plaque, I think is how you pronounce it. So he focused on the use of toothpaste to eliminate that cloudy film that covers our teeth. We want that clean feel to our teeth, right? So Hopkins created a craving for beauty based on an emotional response. So when we make adaptive change, it includes a shift in personal belief systems that affects our mindset. That goal you have, it shifts from merely losing weight or getting in shape to committing to a more purposeful lifestyle of eating and exercising. The challenge motivates you. Maybe it's something with work or even maybe at home. The objective is to become attentive and observant, creating a culture of openness and authentic sharing. Remember, when we develop a new routine, This is a personal decision. There's no one else that can define or establish our own personal habits. It's important that your habits include proper sleep, diet, exercise, financial responsibility, relationship building, spiritual reflection, and knowledge seeking. These are what we call the technical approach, as we discussed. The mindset of an adaptive lifestyle is what creates a greater possibility for lasting and authentic change to move life's football a little closer to the goal line. And we look at 3 categories of habit: physical, and relational. Physical is also broken into 3 separate categories as sleep, diet, and exercise. So it's been a moment, but before we dive into those, let's do a chat participation time. I'm just curious again. I want to know, how many hours of sleep do you usually get? Is it 4 hours? Is it 8 hours? Is it 10 hours? How many hours of sleep do you get? Me personally, I try to at least get 7 to 8 at least, because below that, I can barely function and I'm not a person you want to deal with. Even though I only got, 6 hours? I might have got 7 last night. 6 to 7. We'll say 6.5. Call it down the middle. Today was pretty okay. So I just was curious to see how we all sleep. So Cool Ranch says 7. Selena says 3. Tammy says 2 to 3. Boy, Tammy, can you imagine after you have your procedure, getting a full night rest, how great that will be? You won't know what to do with yourself. We think you're running around all the time now. Just wait till then, right? Joanne says 6 to 7. Nancy says 8. Steph says 5 to 6. And see what happens? Then your rest catches up to you, and then you sleep all day Saturday, like Selena. Like, girl, get your rest. This is more important than anything I have to tell you. Yes, yeah. And I think you can, because we've been taking that stuff for so long now, Tammy. So thank you for sharing. I was just curious to see if y'all were like me or I was like you. So the first physical habit that we're going to discuss is sleep. Real quick. Sleep is essential as a renewing treatment for the brain, and it can greatly affect focus and fatigue. Prime example. Now, there is no right or wrong way in deciding the makeup of a routine, but having a consistent schedule that includes sufficient sleep is extremely important. Selena knows that by 9:30, if I get done with my auctions by 9:30, 9:45, I'm ready to go hit the bed. Might not go to sleep right away. I never do. Never happens for me like that. Not like it does for Robert. But I want to have my pills, and I want to be in bed, and I want to be unwinding. And yes, I'm one of those that goes to sleep with the TV. And then I turn it off when I wake up. But anyways. But Selena knows my limit. Sometimes I go over that limit, but it's not very often at all. Wonder Woman said, thing is, I need to learn patience and grace and just taking my time on everything in life and work. Yes. She says, I get 6 to 7 hours, but I'm every hour on the hour. So it's like, is that quality sleep, or am I just saying I got 6 to 7, right? Shoot, not me. Not me. I gotta have, I mean, I can do it on trips, like, because I'm so excited to do whatever it is we're doing. But for the most part, I gotta have at least 7. And again, it's not quality sleep. I know that too. So who knows how much I really do get. So sleep is so very important. We've always have heard that anyways. But if you have sleep issues, in order to deal with those, you have to put a specific plan in place. Lack of sufficient sleep does have a negative impact on our energy levels and also our concentration. Prime example. But just like our bodies, our brain also needs time to rejuvenate, renew, and rest. Now let's look at the other category of physical, and that is diet. We know having a chemical imbalance and lack of focus can be directly influenced by diet, especially at our halftime in life. Things that affected us younger affects us now. That didn't affect us younger, affect us now. Things what I meant to say. Body changes are inescapable. Healthy eating and having exercise routines can help us maintain energy as well as physique. It's all about choices. There will be times I look at Robert and be like, I can't stand myself. I need to take a nap. Like, I am being my own mother to my toddler self saying, I need a nap. I need to recheck myself, So, but it is all about choices. When you take a break from work or a task, a lot of us, or from a meeting, a lot of us, it's probably normal to grab us a snack and maybe a drink. And yes, part of that is usually a habit for us, but another part of it is also we need some energy. And our brain has dopamine, and the dopamine acts as a neurotransmitter to help control our brain's reward and pleasure centers. So if I take a break at work, the food I eat is my reward that gives me that dopamine rush. It's telling my body that I have renewed energy and focus. How much and how quick do I have? That all depends on what type of snack I just had. It can be a short-lived boost with a sugar crash, or it can be a long-lasting fuel by energy-producing protein. So now you could also get a similar reward with different yet sustaining results. You can replace the snack with a short walk or short hike. I am so proud of Robert. Robert goes for a walk pretty much every day unless it's super cold or it's stormy. So if you know you don't want to have that short-lived boost by eating something that's not necessarily good for you to eat, then take a short walk. And you can replace other habits by using the trigger and reward system that Dewey, again, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, proposed in the book that we discussed earlier. We can take his results and carry it a step further for adaptive change. When we create a mental image of ourselves walking, concerning on how it makes us feel. In other words, we focus on good feelings, not how tired we are walking up the hill. The repeated behavior of walking during breaks gives us a boost of energy, and we envision the experience to create a mental image of what we need. We are incorporating adaptive change. Emotion works to create and cement lasting changes. We would normally just pass up that donut or that sugary snack to eat for something healthier like carrots or celery. But when we use adaptive mindset, we are creating a mental image and new feelings for a lifestyle change. One that goes beyond losing weight, one that goes beyond lowering our blood sugar. Let's look at the third physical category. We're almost there, guys. We're almost done. And that is exercise. I know, blah to exercise, don't want to do it. But yet there are many documented benefits to exercise, especially when we are at halftime point of our lives. If you're not, it's a good habit to incorporate. You do need to discover and apply what works best for each of you. I am a walker. I am not a runner. Don't even need to entertain the idea. I like cardio. I don't like weightlifting, but I need to do some, right? So I found that it's important to note that when I was researching this one, that is the reduction of, and it was the reduction of fall-related fractures by 40% or more when we incorporate physical activity. It reduces by 40%. Now, we may not notice it now, but as we age, as our bodies age, the muscle strength is going to wane, right? So the sense of balance weakens and making us more prone to falls and injuries. I fell at the pumpkin patch, hurt my shoulder. I don't know how long before that, but I fell in the living room because Robert was fixing my sock and I decided to do a pirouette, hey, score me, But they have become more than what they probably used to be when I don't know, I've always been clumsy and all that. But anyways. Cool Ranch says her go-to snack has been avocado slices with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's yummy. I could eat that. I'm not an avocado toast person. I know you didn't say avocado toast, but I'm just saying I could eat that, but I'm not an avocado toast person at all. Yes, I love veggies. Yeah, especially when they're fresh from the garden. There's nothing better. So the things that we have done in the past, they may need revision now or in the near future. When I talk about exercising, I'm not talking about building huge muscles, but building strength and tone. Just a brisk walk, like Robert does every day. A brisk walk can get our heart rates up, and that will work as part of our cardio routine. I know you didn't say avocado toast, but that's where my brain went. Yes, I love me some salads. Chocolate, right, Nancy? I'll be eating that carrot going, man, that's a good piece of Hershey bar. When I was focused of going to the gym, some of y'all was with me when I was doing the gym thing. And it had been a year after my ACL tear, before my parents' passing. I was so focused. Like I went on Mondays and I went on Wednesdays. And nothing was going to stop me. Like you need to be bleeding or dying or throwing up or whatever to get me away from going to the gym. Like I was that zero in focus. I love some asparagus, Joanne. Yes. Oh my gosh, Selena, really? I love asparagus. Like if we go out and grilled asparagus is even a side option, 9 times out of 10, I'm getting it. Because I love it. Robert likes it when it's not slimy. So, anyways, now I'm getting hungry. But I chose Mondays because it would just energize me before doing my Monday motivation. I would get home like at 7 o'clock. I knew I had another hour before I went live for my Monday motivation, but it just worked for me. I would leave work at 5 o'clock, hit the gym, and then get home about 7, get ready to come live with you guys. And then I always went right after work. And then Wednesdays I went because Wednesdays were usually my night off back then. But nothing could or would distract me from it until my parents' passing, of course. But one of the considerable benefits that it gave me, besides how good I felt afterwards, was the mental diversion that it created for me. It allowed me to think and imagine. That's why I love mowing the yard. Like, Robert does not want me out there when it's so stupid hot outside, but man, I can't say no. I want to go out and mow the yard because 1, I don't want him out there when it's hot. And 2, it's just my time. Like the noise, it just drowns out everything. So my boss is always like, man, you don't come over and mow my yard because my wife sure isn't going to mow it. All right, none of chat participation time. What are some healthy physical habits that we just discussed that you want to plan to put in place or improve on? Was it the sleep, the diet, or the exercise, or a mix of all 3, or 1 or the 2? How do you plan to put it in place? I know for me, personally, I would love to get back into doing my exercising. I would really love to get back to the gym. It's what I would really love. But do I want to spend $25 or more every month? Is it worth investing myself? Yes. And the gym I like to go to has an indoor pool, and I love doing aquatic aerobics. Love it. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. So I've been trying to see if there's any cheaper options, but I don't know. I really miss the gym. There's just something for me. I don't smell sweat when I go in there. I smell the whatever they use in the gym. And I don't know. I just love it. Right? Yes. Try new things because as you get older, the taste buds do change. I did not eat avocados. I did not eat guacamole until I was well into my 20s. And then I was like, man, I've been missing this my whole life. Give me some guacamole. Yes. Oh, man, I can eat any of the greens, mustard greens, collard greens, any of them. So Joanne says exercise. I could go to the Y or senior center. I hadn't thought about that. Drink more water. Tammy said, just come to the mall and work with me. 15,000, 18,000 steps a day. Easy. Yes. Especially when we're rearranging our booths and stuff. Yes. Because I have one booth on one aisle and I have another booth on the other aisle. And I got to walk around to get to the other booths. No, there's Robert whining for me. Wonder Woman says, I love all kinds of vegetables and fruits. That's my go-to. Yes. I'm a veggie fruit person too. Selena said, I just want to get better organized. If my house is organized, I get more things done in my life, right? Yes. What do y'all grow in the orchard? That's what I want to know. Is it apples? Peaches? Both? Because then I'm coming to see you. Cool Ranch says, drink more water and not eat so late at night. No food after 6 p.m. That is so hard for me to do because Bella and I, yes, my dog and I, we have a snack every night at 9. Well, not tonight, but 9 p.m. when I go get in that bedroom, I get her a snack and I get me a snack. Usually. There's some nights I don't have a snack because I'm not feeling good. But Bella, yes, she looks forward to that. In fact, well, she might be back in there with her daddy. But she'll come in here whenever it's time for him to start winding down. She'll come in here because she knows, hey, I need to be around mom because so then I know when we're going to the bedroom. Talk about routine. She knows we go outside. Well, she goes outside, not we. She goes outside, does her business, comes back in, we get our snack, and we go to the bedroom. To improve on physical, mental, emotional, all the above, whether it be weight, with time, with God, or health in general. Definitely want to improve everything. Yes. I know, Colbus. My time with Bella. See, it's an emotional thing. That's how we get in trouble. Yes, aren't they Wonder Woman water aerobics? Yes. 3 different types of apples, pear, cherry, blueberry, grapes, muscadine, red and white. Blueberry? Seriously? You have me at blueberry. Y'all didn't know my favorite fruit in the whole wide world is blueberries. I love anything blueberry except for the fake imitation blueberry. Robert laughs at me, but there is such a thing. We went to Waffle House, the awful waffle here, and they have blueberry waffles. I'm thinking, great, it's got real blueberries in it. Or it's got a blueberry topping to it. No, it's fake taste. Fake blueberries. It's not the real thing. Muscadine is a grape. Yep. Different kind of grape, I think. So one of the other habits is to have in place is the fiscal, your budget. Now, some at halftime are used to keeping good records and they know their exact financial status. And maybe some of you don't because you left that to your spouse to deal with. But money, it stresses me out. I don't like talking about it or anything. But I know how to find things and how to deal with it if something was to happen to Robert. Because Robert's always like, well, you need to know. You need to know. Just give me your passwords. Tell me what bills we have, and I can figure out the rest. I promise you. One time he's like, do you even know how to still write a check? And I'm like, yes, I write a check for my stepdad stuff all the time. I've got that one down, let me tell you. Not that anybody really pays with a check anymore, right? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Blueberries? Yes. Yes. Number one on my list. Oh, blueberry pancakes. Yeah. I used to take, Robert would get, I can't remember what waffle mix he would get, but he would get a waffle mix and we get our waffle maker down. And then he would take fresh blueberries and throw them in the batter. Best thing ever. And then Cracker Barrel had Wild Maine blueberry pancakes. They still have the Wild Maine blueberry pancakes. But guess what? They got rid of the actual really good blueberry syrup. Now they got the fake blueberry syrup. Like this other blueberry was a special kind of blueberry syrup. Made me so mad. I'm like, seriously? You can't have Wild Maine blueberry pancakes with that other crap. It was some fancy syrup, but man, whoo, I love that stuff. See, I do, Joanne. I paid my stepdad's big check every month for his nursing home care and everything. And I pay a check to hometown with Tammy. I write that check. That way I can make sure I got my check for money I've earned and I went ahead and paid with a check. Because we do have people on automatic at the flea market because that way it just runs through. But it's like, I want to make sure I got money in there. So, like me, Minnie realizes that understanding and managing finances are extremely important skills for our future. No matter what you know or have in place, at least have a structure and plan, including effective communication with other family members. We also have to have the mindset that time equals money, whether that be in getting paid in dollars or reward of helping others. When we have a carefully crafted budget, Robert's so good at that, it should not only include not only the finances, but also our time. Time is one of our most valuable resources, but is often the most wasted. They had real blueberries in it, yes. We don't have an hourglass that tells us how much sand is left in life, right? So when we think of budgeting our time, we want to spend moments enjoying the surroundings, appreciating our loved ones, and also acknowledging our own worthiness. Money is a means, not an end. But we can buy time by appreciating each moment by the inherent blessings. We all know that time is short and we must spend our moments wisely. So let's do another chat participation. What types of physical habit will you implement or improve? Is it debt? Is it maybe having a financial advisor or someone to hold you accountable to a budget? What are some types of things that you can implement or improve in your own personal life? Chat participation time. I know I said it a while ago, but we're almost there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know for me, I've been in the financial advising business for 30 years. So it's ingrained in me. Do I follow it all the time? No. There you go, right, Selena? She says, nice to have a PayPal card, so if Sam needs gas or we need something, I can help. I feel like I'm somebody when I can help, right? Yes. Buy more stocks. Finances, yes. Speaking of finances now, what is it that you want to implement or improve? Maybe you're already doing something, but you want to improve it. Maybe there's something that you want to put in place. Maybe it is to have a financial advisor. Joanne said, debt, better organization. Stay away from auctions with ugly stuff, Selena says. It's so hard, right? I'm with you on that one, Cole. Yes, 1,000%. I'm with you on that one. Selena says, like, that's going to happen, right? Now, let's look at our brain. In what ways can we invest in our brains to keep them sharp? I have to say, watching my mom's mind slowly disintegrate, leaving her a shell of her former intellectual self. I can only wonder if hope remains for nurturing a memory that won't burn to ashes of Alzheimer's. Having these thoughts shouldn't keep me from investing into it intellectually. Wow, that's a big word. As a lifelong learner. I can't help but wonder at times if my mom had kept a more active lifestyle with interaction with people on projects and such, doing daily exercise and doing things to keep her brain more active, if she would have had Alzheimer's later than at 65 or if at all, right? So that's why I think it's so important to nurture having a positive outlook, stimulating our minds rather by learning, reading, or interacting with others. And when we do these things, the myelin sheath, as they call it, it stays active and it continues to fire synapses in our brains. Now, the myelin is the whitish covering that insulates our nerve fibers connecting neurons. Now, I know we're not in a science class and that's not what you came in here for, but it's important. Tuber Chat, welcome in. Word up. Guys, go check out Tuber Chat. He's an awesome guy. He helps channels grow. So go over there. He shouts people out more ways than I thought there ever could be. So go check him out. Again, click on the, hold on, Tuber Chat. Let me make you blue. Because if I make you blue, then people can go to your channel easier. So click on those three dots. He is now blue. Click on those three dots. Go over, subscribe to Tuber Chat. Tell them Scooter sent you. Selena says, Joanne says, stay active, find a hobby using your brain. Yes. And Selena said, actually, I've used my memory more since I started selling. It seems my memory is better, right? Yes, you're doing something. Wendy said record keeping and taxes and medical papers. Hooray. Good night, Tammy. Get you some rest. You need it, girl. So, but it's important that we're talking about this. I know it's not science, but it's important. This nerve network that we're talking about, it can help us reinforce those good habits that we make. With impulses, it makes the neurons move faster and faster with repetition. And that myelin, it builds and it strengthens as you go. And as it strengthens, it produces new neurons to reshape certain areas of the brain. And that process is called neuroplasticity. Big words tonight. Oh, you're fine, Wendy. I'm making heads and tails out of it. You're good. You are good. So a study that I thought was so interesting, a study that was done back in 2018 from Columbia University, brain cells are continuously added to our brains even when we reach our 70s. Now, obviously, they had to do the study by post-mortem brains, obviously, right? But the study went all the way up to 79 years in age. And it showed that the results that for all age groups, the hippocampus, this is the area that deals with memory, shows new developing neurons. And they did an age group from 14 to 79. That's what they did, or the study. Now, the new neurons, they were present in older brains, but they make fewer connection to those in younger brains, obviously. And so the reason is that there are fewer proteins and reduction in blood vessels as we get older. So don't think you're not still making new neurons. Our actual brain signals can change to create desire and craving for a different substance according to our defined lifestyle and outcome. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, Wendy, I always tell Selena, I speak Selenanese, so I speak Wendanese, right? Yes. If we think about it, we live in a society of self. Taking selfies, self-image, self-promotion, self-confidence. We are full of ourselves. And in the Eastern religions, they explored the possibilities of one's personality with self-realization. Hindus look for true self. Buddhism seeks separate self. And in the Western world, focus mostly on humanistic psychological growth. When we look inside ourselves, we might find a vacuum, a God-shaped vacuum inside each of us. So then that true actualizations, boy, I don't know where else I want that word, is fulfilled when supplied from the Supreme Being. Cole says, my grandma Amy's twin sister lived to be 100 and was sharp as a tack. She went on a hot air balloon ride to celebrate 100 years. Wow. Way to go, Aunt Eunice. Live your life out loud and fully. Yes. Selena. They say my seizures make brain cells die. I'm like, you can't kill what's not there. There you go. You think you got one up on me? I got one up on you, right? So when we think of the truth in a higher power, it brings several cables of success together. And these cables include our mission and purpose and our habits. So whatever routine you have, make sure that it includes time to reflect, time to explore, and contemplate on that truth. A higher power is necessary to evoke authentic and true change. And we discussed this before, but our brains are a powerful muscle and it has to be exercised. You need to exercise it. We are all worth investing in. And as the habit cable gets strengthened, realize that the hardest sell, always the hardest sell, will be to ourselves. So it's so easy, super easy, to focus on everything else like work, home, children, spouses, friendship, grandparents, other family members, whatever. We must feed and nourish our goals to create a life balance. And we need to see that an ideal lifestyle that is not selfish and that is important. And believe it or not, but it is more self-serving to ignore our own routines and behaviors, as negative habits will bring undesirable consequences for your entire family. It is true that no one can control the future, but we can take care of today, and we can tend to the details of today. Good habits don't just include a program, but a desire. Change your lifestyle and mindsets because you are worth it. So let's do another quick chat participation. And I promise you, we are there. What, if any, higher power decision do you need to make? What, if any, higher power decision do you need to make? Selena says, I'm constantly decorating. Creating my brain is really hard to turn off. That's why I don't sleep much, right? That's why I take pills. Like, I don't have the side effects of Ambien anymore, but I've got to have that hammer drop. I've got to go. You're done. Selena and I both like watching Living Out Loud. Is the girl on TLC that has Tourette's. We both love that show. And there's some that she does that just cracks me up. And I know she can't help it, obviously. And there's some that cracks her up. Some of the tics that she does. She does everything in threes, and she's OCD and stuff like that. But one that she says is, you're done. You're done. And I'm like, that's what I need Ambien to do for me. You're done. You're done. Cool Ranch says, I'm pretty sure I made my higher power decision when I accepted Jesus Christ as Savior. I need nothing more than Him. Amen. Amen. Right, Selena, the way that she looks at life and she loves it, you know, and she's her worst critic of her own self. It's a very interesting show. And she, Selena told me that I haven't watched it recently, but she has learned how not to cuss. And she's one of those that has Tourette's that's less than 10% that is, and she's in that less than 10% that have outbursts and they use cuss words and things like that. So she's a sweet girl, super sweet girl, and she is very much about Jesus and what he's, has done for her life. And while she might not understand it, it's for her to help others. All right. So while y'all keep thinking about that higher power, who has heard of the famous jazz song, I Got Rhythm? I got rhythm, I got music. Who could ever ask for anything more, right? That song. That song was composed by George and Ira Gershwin, and it was back in the 1930s. The chords in that song has become the foundation for other jazz tunes. And when we develop and maintain good habits, it also takes on a distinct rhythm. And we can do the same rhythm almost subconsciously when we create monthly schedules that breaks down to a weekly rhythm project. And this will also allow enough flexibility built into the schedule to expand on what is necessary and be able to pull back on what is less urgent. So as y'all know, I plan out my whole month each month, and I throw my thumbnails up usually for the whole month. If I have to take a show off, if I can't do a show one night or whatever, I just go in StreamYard and I delete it off there, and off of YouTube. But I've built out my month, and then I see what I have for the week. And if I need to, if I end up having a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or an extra 2 or 3 shows that week, I can stretch. But if I'm not feeling it, then I can cancel one and pull back on what's less urgent for me at that moment. And we all have those months or weeks where multiple activities make us feel like we're stretched, thin, taut, and frantic, right? But having a steady schedule maintains an even rhythm. Having that steady schedule also gives us more freedom to improvise effectively if we need to. Keep the end goal in mind for projects and deadlines. Easier to stretch when necessary, as we know that there will be a time that we get back to a calm, regular routine. So to finish this out, when we're looking ahead, creating a schedule that fits to our own personal lifestyle, you can block out days or parts of the days for specific things like projects or travel. Yet remember that your schedule should still contain the main projects that need to be completed. What can feel insurmountable at times when you have a steady rhythm and routine, mixed with some improvisation and flexibility, can be accomplished. As always, thank you guys for starting off your week with me for Monday Motivation. I hope there was something in tonight's topic that spoke to you. I'll encourage you to implement it into your life. Y'all have hung out with me for almost an hour and 45 minutes. I think this, besides my giveaway night, is probably one of the longest Monday Motivations. There's been a lot of work that we've been putting into this climb. We've gone over an hour each Monday since we started the series. So I thank you for hanging in there with me. Y'all are awesome. We've maintained between 11 to 15 people, maybe 16 for the night. So thank you guys for toughing it out with me, hanging in there with me. We only got 2 more to our series here for this series, and then we're going to move on to something else. These topics for me have been the most challenging topics. I cannot tell you how many times I've said I'm not feeling it, because I've had to really stretch my mind on these and make them interesting. I was not feeling tonight, but I think it went pretty good, better than I thought it would. Lots of great information for everyone at every point in our lives. Right, cool, thank you. All right. Take a deep breath. Tomorrow night, I will be on with my feather sister, Selena, for one price short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths. So come on in if you need some laughs and giggles, some fun time in your life. We're sure to screw up a word or two or three, and y'all get to hear my husband just laugh at us. Wednesday night, I was going to take the time off and do some focus on getting some of my own projects done. But I think I might be going live with Tammy. And then I think we might bring Selena right on in there with us as well. We both had so much stuff for last night. And so we got a little bit left over. I got stuff at the flea market that I want to show you guys. So at my booth. So that's what I'll be bringing Wednesday night. And then Thursday night, Cool Ranch has something else better to do. Just picking cool. But Cool Ranch will be over on Tracy Cake's channel doing Moose Squares, Hollywood Squares, whatever you call that. She'll be over there. So I'm going to let her take Thursday night and do something else instead of being with me. But Selena will be back with me. So come on back for a second helping at one price short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. And of course, Cool and I will be back together next week. We've been doing this for Holly Moose Squares. Thank you. Under the best you go. I love you, Cool. I love that you and I can both stretch on that kind of thing, but we always come back together, and that's all that matters. We've been selling together for, 3 years almost 3 years, if not. So I ain't worried about that girl going anywhere. We love each other too much. So make sure you come back for a second helping of that. Make sure you are subscribed, that you have that bell, what in the world? That you do have the bell marked for all notifications. Don't forget to leave your thumbs up if you haven't done it already. Planning on incorporating some more Buy It Now videos. Robert and I've got a trip that we're starting to plan for the last week of March, so I'll be taking a break from YouTube. But as you know, I will be dropping Buy It Now videos that week. So that's a heads up for all you guys. So yes, I think we're going to be going maybe to Kentucky is what's on our list, possibly. So yes, we haven't been there together. I've driven through Kentucky, but that's about it. All right, so next Monday Night Motivation, we will be discussing our twisted relationship cable. That's one I can only imagine what it's going to be about. So twisted relationship cable will be next Monday night. We're almost at the top, guys. We got about 2 more weeks that we're going to be discussing, and then we are at the top of our very own Hero Mountain. And y'all have been with me since we started this in January. We are now at the end of February, if you can believe it or not. So congratulations. We got 2 more weeks to finish this out. So stick in there with me. We're almost at the top. As my favorite Zig Ziglar says, I'll see you at the top. Remember, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. Yes, I have to do a drive-by on my way home and grab you, right? Yes, and bring you back with me. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. Now let's do this thing. Good night, guys.